put this pole on for you.
All right, thank you very much, Corky fans. Welcome back here. Session number 2 here for the Hot Shot Secrets Pro Pulling League. Session number 2 here. We're just about ready to get things rolling. Great opening ceremonies. Once again, we'd like to thank all the fine sponsors helping out here for the 152nd annual Elkhart County 4-H Fair, as we are just about ready to get rolling here. Super Stocks, unlimited Super Stocks on the start line here. 8,000-pound class. 650 cubic inches of the 4 turbochargers, fans. We're looking at approximately around 45 to 5,000 horsepower here this afternoon. All right, you fans ready to go tractor pulling this afternoon? Let's hear ya. All right, Jeff Odom, Delroy, Ohio, going to be our test puller. Unlimited Super Stock. He calls it fully loaded. Here we go. No doubt about it, fans. That's a run he was looking for last night. Didn't happen for him, but he is on the ball here tonight. Let's give a nice round of applause there, Jeff Odom, a 3-time champion here with the PPL circuit. And we will have to see. Boy, he's way out there. I'm going to have to imagine now we may have a change on the sled, but we'll let you know.
Track, we have Lee Snyder down there 1630.
All right, man, so over on the unlimited super stock track, we got a distance of 361.14. Let's give a nice round of applause, Jeff Odom. And we will see whether or not our officials will accept that distance or will change the sled a little bit. We will let you know, keep you up to date here.
On the inside track, Lee Snyder's pole was 268.24. 268.24. Coming up next will be Scott Richard on IH 5288.
All right, fans, so over on the unlimited super stock track, they say we are going to leave the sled set. So 361.14 will be the mark to shoot for here. On our unlimited super stock class here this afternoon, we take a look at the running order. Bob Gansberg will be up number 2 here. The Case International Warrior Tractor out of Indiana will be Mark Vinegar, and he will be up number 3 spot. And then we'll have the take care of business of Eric Hall from Omaha, Wisconsin. It is John Deere. Will be our next 3 tractors coming up on the unlimited super stock side. Now, we did run these tractors last night. We're going to run 5 classes this afternoon. 4 of these classes you saw running competition last night. We added the super farms here this afternoon to run as well. Now, by a show of hands, how many fans were here last night? All right, good crowd. Happy to have everybody back. We got 2 sessions here today. One this afternoon. We'll go again at 6 o'clock as well. So, no doubt, we'll have double track action. We'll run the Pro Bowling League over on the grandstand side, and we'll run all the farm stock and that action over here on the infield track here all afternoon long. So officials are going to go with our sled setting 361.14. You'll notice that lead distance marker way down at the end of the track, as that will signify our distance to be in that particular class. So it looks like we've got 9 unlimited super stocks making the call here this afternoon.
Coming up now will be Scott Bridger. All in the end. Next up will be Greg Mass on the John Deere 4555. The magic number everyone wants to beat is 312.7. He's going after 312.7.
All right, over on the unlimited super stock down there in the southwestern corner of the Badger State. Bob Gansfer, longtime puller. First of two tractors they'll have in the competition here today.
Little bit of problems there. 131.31. 131.31.
All right, fans, so Bob Gansfer, the Rutten Deer, number 2 hook here in the limited super stock class here this afternoon. Last night, his tractor finished up in the number 2 spot. Would like to improve on that. Right now, the mark to be 361.14. Just like that, you see the distance kind of fall back just a little bit here as Bob Gansfer, the Rutten Deer out of Wisconsin, going to fall way short of that number 1 spot here. Jeff Oda, boy, what a big run as first in the class here this afternoon. Wow, 361.14. And looks like we're going to be way short of that here with our second tractor. Yeah, 289.25. 289.25. So fans, as we take a look at the lineup here, Mark Bittiger going to be a scratch this afternoon with the Warrior. That was the only redwood we had in the unlimited super stock class. Unfortunately, damage for him last night, going to not be able to make it here this afternoon. Finished up number 5, but they found some damage with the tractor and not going to be able to run here this afternoon. So we will scratch him for this afternoon. So we'll be down to 8 tractors here in the limited super stock class. So that'll be that Aaron Hall will leapfrog here in that number 3 spot, but taking care of business out of Omaha, Wisconsin. St. Elkhart Daly with the Rutten Deer number 2. Now that's the teammate. We just saw the Rutten Deer out there right now, Bob Gansfer. And no doubt something not right with that tractor is 289.25 the distance there, way short of that 360 that we just saw Jeff Oden lay down over on the grandstand side. We'll go back over to the grandstand side. Of course, we'd like to introduce our Hot Shot Secrets Post Bowling League officials this afternoon working the starting line here today. Will be Mike Escort out of state of Ohio. Down at the finish line, and working that finish line will be Jackie Kmetz out of Pennsylvania. And then, of course, our event directors, John Mears and Christy Asher. They'll be pretty much throughout the pulling course throughout the afternoon. So those will be our officials overseeing all the action you're seeing here today. Our sled operator going to be Logan Thomas out of Silver Oak, North Carolina. Piloting that decision maker sleds out there in western Pennsylvania, owned by Richard Love and Group. So one of the decision makers on hand here this afternoon. So back to the action here as Aaron Hall taking care of business. Upon Wisconsin, TCOB at John Deere 9200. So far it's been John Deere 1, 2, and 3 right now. By the luck of the draw, all these competitors will draw a number when they register for their particular class. Lowest number goes first, so on and so forth. So last week's winner over in Henry, Illinois, Marshall Button Fair, this track, they put it all together. Got that big first victory of the summer. Right now, they got to go better than 361.14. Big distance, Jeff Odom, our current leader. Fans, let's give a nice round of applause there for Aaron Hall. Great run started over on the right-hand side of the track. Now each and every competitor will have that option where they put that sled. You'll notice the orange cone sitting on the start line. You move it anywhere you want between those white lines. Of course, that starting line area will tear up throughout the afternoon session.
On the inside track, we have Paul Brennan on the 4840. Which happens to be the same tractor that's holding down the number 1 spot at 312.7.
Each sample treats 100 gallons of diesel fuel and is guaranteed to increase horsepower, improve fuel economy, and increase your fuel simplicity. For the extra protection, head to Hot Shot Secret booth and get your free sample before they run out. Plus, all products are 30% off at this event. Now, fans, the Hot Shot Secrets tent is located at the starting line and over on the infield side. So you see the green tent over there. Make sure you head on over there, get your free sample. And once again, all products are 30% off.
On the inside track, Dan Brennan of 312.70 was the first stop. Number 2 was Cole. The same track, followed by Ethan Burrow of 45.55. Heath Snyder, 60.30. And Phil Carter for his IH 71.40. Farm Field stock. Get to the starting line. They're waiting on you. Once again, 18,000. They're waiting on you. If you're not
point standings here on the Hot Shot Seekers PBL circuit for 2025. Still in the 2023 NTGA Grand National Champion. Running here on the PBL circuit here for 2025. Right now, team A 289.25. That was Bob Gansmer with run year number 1. So no doubt, Zane would like to definitely improve on that. Now he's going to park that sled up there on that right-hand side once again, just like we saw Aaron Hall. That's going to be the hot setup here this afternoon when we're working with that sun out on the track. So the run year 2 out of Iowa. Kind of drove it down towards the middle part of the track there, fans. Let's give a nice round of applause here for Zane Daly. A run near number 2. Yeah, looks like going to be awful close maybe to that number 2 spot out there, 3:37.42. Down there. Got in that middle part of the track, started on the right side, and then kind of, not sure if hit a soft spot through there, but then we saw the momentum kind of really die down on the track. Shut down here over the distance in here for him. Yes, it looks like it'll be 3:06.01, fans. 3:06.01 will be the distance. And that will put Zane in that number 3 spot. So Mike Franklin with the original judge. That's Nancy Ferguson. Be up next. And then we got another John here right back house. Scott Milberg, our current national points leader with his John here, will be order here this afternoon.
Well, I guess we're still waiting on 18,000 water stock. I don't know if they're back there taking the weights off because they were 21 or what. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to bear with because as they show up, we're going to run them, so we'll not be in any particular order.
They might be out there enjoying some of that really good fair food. They got caught, that could be.
And that is very true. They may be over there eating tacos or what. Well, and I guess they didn't think in the heat light that it was that much fun taking 3,000 pounds off, but they know the earlier class at least is taking off instead of putting on.
And for those things curious about the run order this afternoon, of course, in the limited super stock class right now, Super Farms will be our second class here of the afternoon. Then we'll move on into the super modified tractors. Will be class number 3. Hot rod semis will run number 4, and we'll finish out the afternoon on the grandstand side with those super stock diesel truck 4-wheel drives. Will be class number 5. start line here on limited super stock class, 8,000 pounds back from the way of these tractors. And we got Mike Franklin, the original judge in Sonia, Ohio. Massey Ferguson. He's going to move that sled a little bit closer to that middle part of the track here. All looking to get past 361.14. The mark to beat here on limited super stock class. Jeff Odom, tracker out of Ohio, fully loaded, lead the way.
Mark is going to take his distance of 260.49. So he is right now the leader. Obviously, he's the only one.
All right, fans, let's give the Massey a nice round of applause there. Mike Franklin doing the driving of the original judge of the Margie family. As he makes a good run right down the pike here. Real close to that number 3 spot, looks like. As we get the distance in here from the Laser Crew. Laser Crew set up down at the end of the track, up on top of the dirt hill down there. They'll shoot that laser off the sled at the starting line as well as at the finish line. At 3:03.62, so 3:03.62. We'll measure up to 1/100th of a foot. So 3:03 and 62 will be the distance here for Mike Franklin and the judge. Some good field of the unlimited super stocks. We've got 3 left to go here. Right back now, Scott Whitworth and Aaron Hall. And we'll be on this fully this afternoon.
On the inside track, we have Joshua, and I believe it's Guggenauer on his IH 5288. He's going to try and top the 260.49, so we'll see what happens.
So the second of the all motorsports tractors up next year, Brett Backhouse, Lamont, Wisconsin. Out of time entry, John Deere 8210. Go back up to the top side of the track here in super stock. So Aaron Hall with 337.42 with their team tractor, currently sits in the number 2 spot. And Aaron will be at the bottom of the field piloting the Minneapolis Bowling this afternoon. By the look of they're on the last tractor in the class.
On the inside track, we should have Sean Hinkle on his John Deere 4430. This is one of the older tractors in this class. This was one of the first tractors to come out with a 466 engine. So here we go.
All right, we see everybody kind of back there around the hitch area. sponsor here for the Limited Superstock Tractors. All right, looks like the John Deere has come back to life. We hear the rumble, the growl down there. And Brett looks like he's ready to go down there. And the slack out of the chain. No jerk starts to pull it. Must start with a tight hitch. See that tractor John Deere's down there. He'll make sure it's nice and tight. And we are ready to go. Green flags are out. Yeah, he was on a good pass right there, fans, and then we just started to hear it kind of go away for him down there. Let's give a nice round of applause, fans. Wisconsin, Vaughan, Wisconsin, and Brett Backhouse and John Deere 8210. Inside distance for Brett Backhouse with the out of time. John Deere 296.05. 296.05. Once again, everybody chasing Jeff Owen. Only going John Deere 361.14. Aaron Hall sits the number 2 spot. Taking care of business John Deere 337.42. And rounding out our top 3 currently, St. Daly, John Deere number 2 at 306.01. Superstock class transition on over to Super Farm Tractors.
Inside track should be Troy Flight on his John Deere 6030 hooking up match. Everybody's trying to go after Mark Kaufman's 260.49, and it's only the 4th hunter in this class.
And fans, just a reminder, live streaming and recording of Pro Bowling League events is prohibited. Live events may not be broadcast, transmitted, reproduced, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Pro Bowling League. So fans, national points leader bringing out on the track right now by the utility vehicle, as this is going to be Scott Whitworth out of Worthington, Missouri, and the field forwards entry. Scott, big win last night in the class. Looking to repeat here this afternoon. As he will fire up that John Deere. Goes back up to the top side of the track. Now, last night when he made his run, he had the most ground speed, the most wheel speed that we have seen in any of the limited superstock tractors of the night. Let's see if he can do it again. Of course, he's got one heck of a distance to shoot for here. 361.14. On the season, Scott's got 3 victories, including last night's big win. All right, tractor fired up. He is ready to go here. Field forwards entry out of Missouri. Here we go. Uh-oh. Trouble right off the start line there. Now, he does have another attempt. Each competitor with 2 shots at it. You don't get past that 100-foot mark, and I have a bad feeling that might be it for him. Yeah, he unfortunately is broke, so he's just going to bump the sled this afternoon, fans. Tough break damage from last night. Let's give him a tough round of applause for our points leader, Scott Whitworth.
Troy Flight on the inside track in John Deere 6030.
right, fans, so officially the distance for Scott Whitworth, our current points leader, 1.12. So 1.12 will go down in the record book there for him. Of course, when you get down to the end of the season, start adding up points. Just bump up the sled there, making a run out there. Get to the last place points down here. Those points do add up there to that championship. So we will see how it will shake out here. One to go here at home. Minneapolis Moline. The G1000 will have the final run of the afternoon. And actually, it looks like maybe Craig Peterson. Yeah, Craig Peterson going to be doing the driving here this afternoon. We see that red driver's suit out there. And of course, Aaron Hall himself is walking out on the track. So he is not doing the driving. So back in the Minneapolis Moline G1000 on Wisconsin here, Craig, out of Zion, Illinois. Of course, you go back to the early days of this mini mow, back to late 80s, early 90s. Craig and his partner Lyle Hall campaigned this tractor for a whole bunch of years in the early days of running these alcohol tractors before they became what they are today. There's a lot of trial and error and a lot of trying some different ideas out there. But good to see Craig back in the seat of a super stock tractor. 20-some years, a couple years back before he got back into it. A lot of pullers will tell you it's kind of like a disease. You can't get away from it. You know, when you do, it's very tough to step back away. But good to see Craig back behind the wheel. Tractor made a real nice run last night. Finished up in that number 4 spot. So here we go, fans. Final tractor. Now this is mini mow from top to bottom here. You see the G-Mount on the outside and underneath. Inline 6-cylinder Minneapolis Moline.
On the inside track should be Leon Schlock, backing up to his 18,006 mile an hour, and John Deere 46-20.
Craig Peterson dancing that white line down the right side. Fans, let's give a nice round of applause. Doing the tap dance on the break there. Of course, you touch that white line, you will be disqualified, so have to keep it off the line. nice round of applause, fans. Shane Maston, that thumping pumpkin. He's playing hardball here. Good to see Shane have a great season on the circuit. Last couple years had some bad luck here with that thumping pumpkin. Good to see him back up on top.
Inside track should be Ron Craig, I believe. He's down here 50-20. Under the big 216.49, the very first track for this. Made a very wise decision to keep him in business, and so far is the leader.
A little bit of a breakthrough moment here, Jeff. I know you've been really hunting and searching for this win today, and glad that you could pick it up here at Goshen.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a struggle all year. We've done a couple times in Joliet and in Henry, Illinois. We've lost about a little over a foot and then a little less than a foot, and today we were actually able to pull off a win. So it's our first national win for the 2025 season. Happy to have it here at Goshen, Indiana, at the Elkhart County Fair. It's been a great time.
Yeah, it was also with a little bit of authority too. So your hot rod's running good.
Yes, it was. We made a couple changes from last night. Last night we didn't fare so well, but made up for it tonight, and we went down the track pretty successfully.
Yeah, this great team has really put together a good program this year.
I got to thank my crew standing behind me. Without these guys and all their help this weekend or this week, it's been awesome. And I got to thank my sponsors, Breck Bueller Scales, B-Tech Scales, Tonka Services, and Mr. Trailer Sales. Without those guys helping us get here and get everything and have everything right for us, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Two 28.08. 228.08. And a blessed class.
All right, fans, back over on the Super Farm side. We got driving a Never Say Never this afternoon out of Chandler, Indiana. Going to be Dennis Miller. Years ago, used to drive the tractors out of Grandview, Indiana. Good to see him here behind the wheel on the International here this afternoon. Never Say Never. Driving for Brent Weber here. The International 12:06 on the start line. Round of applause, fans. He still got it, no doubt. Good run. Never Say Never. Of course, Masterson years ago, driving some of their tractors.
Inside track now will be Bill Carter. His high is 74.40. Cambridge Products, Maceco, ERS Wireless, and Judy Farmer Bandit. These are some of our good sponsors. They are definitely promoters of our tractor pull, and if you see them on their products, please pay attention and keep them coming for letting us into the show that we have today. Bill Garber, more or less taking the inside track here, seeing if they can make their line.
Wisconsin with a positive ground. International 3688. Currently sitting number 6 in the points. Does have one win on the season of the Seymour, Wisconsin. First event of the summer. Say Red fans. Good run there for Chuck Enderberg, the positive ground. Now he pretty much kept that tractor right of center all the way down the track here. Mark to beat 340.07. Distance will come in. 333.20. Good run for Chuck. Foot number 2. 333.20. Number 3 spot, or number 2 spot there for Chuck Enderberg.
Inside track, next one up should be Aaron Schwarzenberger on his John Deere 4555. Now looking to beat 261.080, which was done just before him. Good number 2 spot.
All right, back over Super Farm side, Anthony, Cottage Grove, Wisconsin, to crank it up. International 1066, another former points champion back in 2017. It looks like it's not the same room. We just saw his teammate there, Chuck Enderberg, with a positive ground. Then right to center. Let's see if he holds it up there. Yes, he will. Good run once again, right up there, right of center. We just saw Chuck Enderberg with his tractor number 2 at 333.20. Maybe going to be real close here once again. Tractor out of Cottage Grove, Wisconsin. Badger State competitors very, very tough in this class. 2.44, good enough for number 3 right now. Kate Maskin, our leader, Thumping Pumpkin at 340.07. Took number 2 with Positive Ground at 333.20. And we'll put Anthony number 3 here with Crank It Up at 332.44. Still got just half a class to go here. Shy of halfway. Super Farm side. We'll make our way to Franklin, Indiana. Like set the thunderstorm tractor. First look at it here in our Super Farm class. On your 4450. One of our previous champions back in 2014. Mark herself into that championship winner's circle. All right, where's our John Deere fans this afternoon? John Deere fans, you guys out there?
And we got 2 more in the class on this side. Randy Toledo will be up next on his 4430.
Yeah, that John Deere, a lot of momentum there. As this is going to be close. Take a look where he ended up over on that left-hand corner. What do you think, fans? Did he do it? All right, we're going to find out here. .03 for the John Deere. 329.03, gotta be short. Number 4. Working our way through the Super Farm class presented by Apex Turbo.
.76 for Randy.
So fans, our next cheer on the start line Super Farm side is James Slum going to do the driving here in Lavelle, Wisconsin. John, there's 7810. There's a team three-time champions here on the PBL circuit. The Hillsborough Charity Bowl actually coming up in a couple weeks. Actually 2 weeks from this weekend. So Friday and Saturday, 3 sessions up there in Hillsborough, Wisconsin. The top holes each and every year on the PBL circuit. Yeah, not being up there, making it a destination to get up there, fans. Definitely a good one. Second generation puller, James Long, going to do the driving here this afternoon. That sled back out towards the middle part of the track here. They call it fast and furious. 340.07, our high water mark. James Lama really worked the wheel out there, right down the center of the track here. Going to put another one up at 320s, 330 mark. We make our way here through the Super Farm class. Actually, a little bit less than that, 323 and 67, 323.67 for James Lama this afternoon. Fans, let's give him a nice round of applause. 323.67. Super Farm side, Casey Fritz, Twisted Deer, Moscoville, Wisconsin. Another John Deere in a row here. Third one in a row here at Super Farm. It's the Fritz brothers, very tough on the team. John Deere 4440. Twisted Deer. Fans, let's give him a nice round of applause. Casey Fritz took number 8 out of our 13 this afternoon. Starting to wind it down here.
Inside track, we should have Aaron Schwarzenegger who is the John Deere 4440.
So our full distance for Casey Fritz with the Twisted Deer, 329 and 65. 329 and 65. Looks like a little number 4 here. So number 4 in our Super Farm class. So it looks like Eddie Rowe, the Redweiser team out of Kentucky. That'll have Josh Miley's high maintenance and Sean Boyd piloting the Screaming Norwegian. Our next 3 up here in the Super Farm side. Now, whether you're into tractor and sled pull or looking to join the competitive drag racing or snowmobile circuit, Apex Turbo's dyno-tested technology delivers the power you need. With many models available, Apex Turbo's innovative designs hold several U.S. supported patents with additional domestic and international patents pending. The team at Apex Turbo agrees they can have done it without the relentless drive for improvement they receive through their clients. With dedication to the craft and a winning attitude, the people at Apex Turbo are in your corner. You're looking to add power and speed when you need it most. For more information, high-performance turbochargers from the experts at Apex Turbo. Contact directly at 734-777-1380. Apex Turbo, presenting sponsor of the Super Farm class. So Eddie Rowe out of Paris, Kentucky. Going to be our next puller up as we go back red here. International 1466, northeast of the Lexington, Kentucky area. He calls it a Redweiser. Another good run here late in our Super Farm class. All trying to get over that last hump there. Trying to catch Shane Maston at 340.07.
Farm stock, 18,000 farm stock to your tractors in the pits. Let's go, guys.
All right, fans, pull this is Eddie Rowe with the Redweiser International 323.44, 323.44. And once again, we do have a change in our running order here this afternoon. As it does look like we are going to switch the semis up with the super modified tractors. We're supposed to have the super modified tractors up next. We're going to run the hot rod semis next in our running order. It will be followed by the super modified tractors. So just a quick line out there. Nope. once again, all semi-competitors be ready to go. You will lead the next class. We're going to switch you up with the Super Modified tractors. So we'll run the hot rod semis first, then the Super Mod tractors. As Josh Miley, Francisco, Indiana, the high maintenance tractor. He will be next up here at Super Farm, 4-time champion here in PBL competition. Did it 4 consecutive years. Late last year, was able to get back on top of the winner's circle early this year up in Seymour, Wisconsin. The International 72-20 back on top of his game. Josh Miley, the high maintenance. Oh, he's getting down there, fans. What do you think? A great run for the high maintenance out of Southern Indiana. .44 for Josh Miley, fans. 330. And change 330 for Josh Miley. So that will put Josh in the number 4 spot here. 3 tractors left to go. Sean Boyd, the Screaming Norwegian, Jeremy Roberts, Wicked Whitetail, and Matt Darnell. That's Bubba Overdrive. Our final 3 here in Super Farm. Once again, hot rod semis be ready to go. And you will be the next class up. We'll switch you up to the Super Modified tractors. Going to be our next puller up over on the Super Farm side, Sean Boyd. Wisconsin doing the driving here this afternoon. And this team here, 3 different drivers we'll see in the seat of this tractor throughout the summer. See Explore down there, he's one of the drivers, as well as Justin Johnson. Currently sitting number 4 here with this Case International on X340. Wisconsin, just west of the Milwaukee area. A lot, like we said, off of that. Maybe half a dozen of the competitors in the Super Farm class come out of the Badger State of Wisconsin. So the orange one's still on top. 340.07. Just a reminder, fans, have the official PPL novelty stand located on the grounds of the Elkhart County Fair. Matter of fact, if you go down to the starting line area and you walk directly towards the fair, you'll end up at the PPL novelty stand. All kinds of hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts available over there. Brand new designs for 2025, so make sure you grab yourself a nice souvenir to take home from today's poll. So once again, we'll head back to southern Indiana, Sullivan, Indiana. That's where we have Jeremy Roberts' Wicked Whitetail. Our next puller up here. Trackside, so I'd have to say that's the son doing the driving this afternoon. A Wicked Whitetail. So Jesse Roberts going to do the driving here of Wicked Whitetail this afternoon. We're on Super Farm side, just 2 left to go. Wicked Whitetail, John Deere 8345 RSIT number 5, currently in the national points here on the Hot Shot Secrets Pro Bowling League.
Inside track would be Troy Dwight. This John Deere 6030. This is a farm stock class.
John Deere this afternoon, fans. Let's give a nice round of applause to Jesse Roberts with the drive of the Wicked Whitetail. We are down to 1, and it's a red one.
Troy's distance was 294.47 at 17 mile an hour.
All right, thanks. So one left to go here. Indiana, Kentucky, and Matt Darnell, maximum overdrive. One of the long-time runners here in the Super Farm class. Back when this class started, back in the early 2000s, this guy was right there in the mix. And good to see him back out on the national circuit here with us. National 1486.
All right, Troy is going to take that distance. We are official and ready to go.
All right, so maximum overdrive. Last year, the Mac 300-pound Super Farms presented by Apex Turbo. Go into our hot rod semi-class. Got 8 of those trucks put on a great show last night. And no doubt, looking to do the same here this afternoon here in front of the crowd here in Goshen. Back to get all the safety gear on your seat on that race there before he sets his sights at 340.07. They've all been shooting at it. So far, Gene Maston, he's held them all off. That Pumpkin Pumpkin. Going to do it this afternoon, fans. Let's give a nice round of applause. Mac Darnell, the maximum overdrive. Shane Maston picked up the second consecutive win here with Pumpkin Pumpkin. 340.07, first one to the class, held up here. He held off all other tough competitors here this afternoon. We'll get our top 5 rundown here after we get the distance in here for Mac Darnell. RJ working that left side of the track. Fans, let's give a nice round of applause. We'll get the numbers in here and decision time for RJ. Whether or not he's going to take that run. Simon boys running semi here this afternoon, as well as their 4-engine modified a little bit later on in the modified class.
Weight Gingrich on the inside, 123.54. Next up is going to be Travis Zook with another John Deere 6030.
All right, fans, so full distance for RJ Simon, 286.17, 286.17, and he did take that hook as our test puller. So officially we are underway on the hot rod semi side, 286.17 will be the mark to beat.
Okay, here we go. 5. You know, we talked about this early draw. Could be good, could be bad. Today it worked out really great for you. But also I think we have to talk about the run that this tractor is on and how well it's performing, Shane.
Yeah, I would say we've been very lucky. It's quite a magical ride we're on right now. I really don't have a lot to say, to be honest with you. I'm very humble standing here. I don't know what to say.
What was it like, though? I mean, you had the full field behind you as first hook to stand up there. And were you watching from the stage? Were you watching from the ends to watch all those guys come at you?
I was just sitting up there with my family and friends, and we're just watching. I mean, when you lay down a good run, all you can do is hope it holds up, and sometimes it does, sometimes it don't.
Yeah, that it did hold up back to back. You know, what a great season you've got so far. What's it going to take to keep it rolling?
Consistency and being humble and just sticking with the program. Like I tell you before, Arthur, can't do without him. My son, Amy, Scotty, my dad's here, Alex, Arthur. I got my whole family for the first time in an interview. And we might not win this, but we're going to be in the thick of it, I promise you.
Number 2 man points won the event last night. So really tighten things up. Now this class act here built has won 2 events here on the circuit, 2 up or down in Osceola, Iowa. Southwest corner there of the Hawkeye State. Swept the weekend over there. So 20,000 pound hot rod semis, right around 45 to 5,000 horsepower they're making out of these trucks. DOT tires on them, old Eagle Cup tires. 18-inch hitch height on them. All right, slack out of the shade. Here we go. The truck out of Ohio. Keith McConaughey doing the driving. 286.17. Our mark to beat right now, 286.17. Mack Trailer, hot rod semis. 286.17. That's Mitch Cloud, the rubber duck. Will be up next, followed by Neil Francis, Maximum Prime number 2.
On the inside track, there we got Darren Fry on his I-52.88. Darren's distance was 265.46.
Trailer Manufacturing Alliance of Ohio is respected as the nation's foremost manufacturer of no flatbed transfer trailers and pneumatic tanks. Mac Trailer provides ongoing solutions through high-tech product innovation and advanced engineering capabilities. As a national leader in trailer manufacturing, Mac Trailer suits the industry with a trailer to meet the rigorous demands of your hauling requirements. Let Mac build you the trailer you need with the level of quality you deserve. Experience the excellence of Mac. For more information, visit MacTrailer.com. So next up, fans over on the hot rod semi-side. Mitch Cloud, the rubber duck, Mac out of Oberlin, Ohio. Mitch back on the circuit here for 2025. Good to see him back. First of 3 Macs this afternoon on our hot rod semi-class. Got any Mac fans out there? We had a few last night. And not too many here this afternoon.
Next up on the inside track is Cole Brenneman with his John Deere 4840.
Hot rod semi-side fans, 272.22 for the rubber duck. We'll put a number 2 right now. Number 2 for the rubber duck.
Cole's distance of 290.56. It's going to be good enough for second place.
All right, fans, going to stay with the Max over on the semi-side. Maximus Prime, number 2. They got 2 of them. Dale Francis, Gainesville, Ohio, Eastern Ohio. Going to be behind the wheel of this one. And by the luck of the draw, their second truck. Maximus Prime, number 1, Drew at the bottom of the field. Maximus passed last night, working that right side. Something not exactly sure what happened there, but back there wrenching on it. Let's see what Dale Francis pulls out. with this truck. He will really get after it. All right, let's come on. Oh, yeah, that back was screaming. Dale Francis, Painesville, Ohio. I think we're going to stretch it out just a little bit further here. Had to go better than 286.17 to take over that number one spot. I think he has done it. We will find out officially by how much. 3:04.48, fans, new leader.
On the inside track, we've got Todd Hartman on a John Deere 6030. Todd's distance was 236.7 and a top speed of 14.7 mile an hour.
Check. There we go. All right, Monty Quickmile, Owenston, Kentucky. Next up here, Hot Rod Semis. He calls it Limitless, another Peterbilt. New lead distance here, 3:04.48 the Mac. Out of Ohio, Dale Francis, our leader. Maximus Pride, number 2. number 2 spot. And then Monty Kreckmile just ran with the Limitless, number 3 at 284 and 35. So 2 to go here, and then we'll go into our super modified tractor class, and then our final class of the afternoon will be the super stock diesel trucks.
Mark Kaufman's distance on the inside track was 262.30. 262.30. And the previous tractor, Todd Hartman, they tell me that he was DQ'd for RPM. We had a 3,000 RPM limit, and he was just a little bit over.
All right, fans, so second generation puller here, Spencer Rook, Roseville, Ohio, the Hillbilly Deluxe. 1984 Peterbilt 3406 cat underneath the hood of this truck. The second bid on the season last night. A couple weeks ago at Route 66 Speedway over in Joliet, Illinois, just south of the Chicago area. Make a little more ground up here. Class Act lead the way in the points. This is the final hook for the Hot Rod Semis here in 2025. Again, he was the winner here in Goshen 1 year ago, won last night. Would look to sweep the weekend here. Hillbilly Deluxe. 304, 48's what he's got to be. Where's the Peterbilt fans? This is your last shot. Come on, Peterbilt. Good run right there, fans. The Hillbilly Deluxe, Spencer Rook, getting it done. Now the big question, 304.48. That's what he had to be. Two excellent passes for Spencer here this weekend. Numbers come in here from the Lasers crew. 3:09.13 new leader. 3:09 and 13, Spencer Rook.
Jaron Fry's up next on another John Deere 60-30. Jaren's distance was 258.64. 16,000 pounds, 6 mile-an-hour tractors. We are almost ready to start your class. Get to the starting line, please.
All right, fans, the new leader over on the hot rod semi-side, Spencer Rook. The Hillbilly Deluxe put himself in position to sweep the weekend here, but we got one tough Matt ready to go here. That will be the second of the Maximus Prime truck, as this will be Maximus Prime number 1. And Joe Bonner will do the driving. Of course, his dad, Dick Bonner, many-time national champion, the semi-division. Also used to run pro stocks years ago. Now take a look at where Joe is spotted that sled way over on that right-hand sideline. Now we kind of saw this yesterday when their team truck, Dale Francis, ran towards the bottom of the field and put that truck over on the right side and was making a killer run until something went wrong. So they're going for it here this afternoon. Joe Bonner, Manaway, Ohio. Right around that Cleveland area. All right, team truck sits number 2 at 3:04:48. Dale Francis doing the driving of that one. Slack out of the chain, here we go. Track is clear. Maximus Prime number 1, last truck in the class. Power fans, I don't know. 309.13 is what he had to beat. Now he's up on that top side of the racetrack here. So distance will come in here. 290.19, 290.19. Put him in that number 3 spot, 290.19. So Spencer Rook gonna sweep the weekend here. Hillbilly Deluxe. Jeromesville, Ohio will take the big win. Finishing up number 2 this afternoon, Dale Francis with Maximus Prime number 2. Put Joe Bonner in that number 3 spot. Maximus Prime number 1. RJ Simon will finish out number 4. And it looks like number 5 will be Monty Craigmile this afternoon.
That was Scott Beecher on his I-52-88, pulling 262.44.
So with that win this afternoon, Spencer Rook, the Hillbilly Deluxe, will be your 2025 champion on the Pro Bowling League circuit. So congratulations to that team. They had a nice run, finished up number 4 last night in session number 1. Running for the Wolf Brothers Bowling Team out of Boston, Wisconsin. The first of 3 entries we will see here this afternoon from the Walsh brothers. comes to the line with one of those T-64s fired up and running. See the crew will go out, hook the battery pack up, they'll get that second engine up and running. Then you will hear the RPM start to come up. That will mean that second engine is ready to go. So 7,800 pounds, maximum weight of the super modified tractors. Once again presented by Elkhart Tires for 2025 year Hot Top Secret 4-Point League Circuit. The Walt brothers going back to the Irish Green. A big job on this tractor. That does not sound good there. We were expecting to hear that second engine fire up, and yeah, it looks like unfortunately they're calling for a tow tractor fans. Ron Langer, our festivaler. Let's give him a tough round of applause here. The Irish Challenger having issues right on the starting line. Going to be hook broke this afternoon, so that means not going to be able to come on back. Real tough right there for the Ron Langer tractor. Ran real good last night, and unfortunately not going to be able to make a run here this afternoon. Now, we saw this issue with their other tractor last night, the Old Red. It's scheduled to go next. Might not get that fired up. So once again, Spencer Rook and Nick Harris make your way to the announcer's stand, please. Spencer Rook. Nick Harris, make your way to the announcer's stand, please.
If you go back, right to the trailer.
You know, you were so calm and cool and collected earlier, and then you go out there, you blow everybody's doors off, you take the win today. I think this is more than just another day like you tried to tell me earlier, Spencer.
It's still another day. It's just we got lucky. We got really lucky. Everything worked. Everything did what it was supposed to. It was a good day.
Well, I don't think that we can say that it was lucky for the whole season, since you are walking away from here as the 2025 Hot Rod Semi Points champion. That's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's something we've probably since even when my dad started, it was a goal, and you know we finally did it. I didn't really think this was ever possible.
So what does it mean to you, though, to do it with your family? I mean, look at these great people that you've got behind you, that support you, that are here with you weekend to cheer you on and be your big support system, to do that with them this year and achieve your dreams and your goals.
It means the world to me, and it's something we never really seen coming.
Well, you were so close last year. This year, It's yours to hold for the entire season and forever. Congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Hot Shot Secrets, Jonathan Christie. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even be pulling. Mac Trailer for sponsoring the class. My parents, Dina, she makes a big sacrifice while we're working on this thing all summer long. I mean, we just had the motor apart right before we came here. Cyclone Diesel, Jeremy and Levi. I mean, without them, we wouldn't have what we have. I mean, Cyclone, Weimer, Kent Payne, Cody, Schaefer Oil. Without them, we wouldn't be here.
You guys put your ones up.
All right, fans, the same situation we just saw with the first service tractor. This one here will have 3 up and going. They've got one up and going right now, and they'll fire up those other 2. And D64 GE Curtis. Tractor's at number 4 in the points. Here on the Hot Shot Secrets Pro Little League circuit for 2025. like you've got them all lit. Here we go, Old Red out of Boston, Wisconsin. All right, fans, so that will set the mark to be here in our modified class here this afternoon. And we'll get the numbers in here for Dave Walsh. So it looks like 233.86, 233.86 for Dave Walsh this afternoon. As well, we've got our winner here, our Hot Rod Semi-Class Spencer Rook. Spencer, what a weekend. Tell us about those runs.
It was a good weekend. We just got lucky. I mean, right before we came here, we had motor all tore down and we were working on some things. I mean, everything was fell.
I don't know if I'm buying that luck thing out there. I mean, that truck ran really awesome here. You drove it really great here this weekend. Now, on top of that, you're going to be crowned the points champion here for the PPL circuit for 2025. Congratulations with that.
Thank you. It's been a goal of ours since my dad started pulling it back. We was just talking all the way here. He started coming here in 2010. And we came around with PPL for a long time. It's been a goal of ours since we're putting it together.
Well, you came in this week at number 2 in points. And those 2 victories catapulted in that number 1 spot. Who would you like to thank for helping you get here?
Really like to thank my mom and dad and help them and what happened to mine. Dana, my fiance, putting up all the late night hours and all the extra we do on it. Jake and Christina, they help us a bunch of all they come over to the pool and send my bunch. Really like to thank Jonathan and Christy. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be pulling here. They do an excellent job. They are simply the best. I mean, you can't beat them. They truly care. They do a good job of everything. Really like to thank Hot Shot Secrets, Jeremy Smith and Levi Nelson and Cyclone Diesel Performance, Shaker Oil, Weiner Fuel and Air, Kent Sandy Payne, Cody Corsa. I mean, all of them. It takes an army to keep that thing going.
What about your crew chief here?
Yeah, woman's attitude. No, and I really like to thank the Fairboard. Without them, we wouldn't be pulling this great place. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. It's not raining. It's great.
Well said. Fans, let's give a nice round of applause. He swept the weekend here. Spencer Rook, the Hillbilly Deluxe, and will also be the champion for 2025. All right, so 233 and 86, 233, 86 for Dave Walsh. Our number 1 hook here in the modified class, 233 and 86. As we'll have Derek Bargy up next here in Stoney, Ohio. The AP1 Insurance sponsored Fury Next Generation. It's all the T64s. Now it's time for the T55 turbines. So Derek on the start line, he's ready to go. 250-foot mark out there, and we will see. We're going to bump that lead distance marker out there. Now 2:33.86, the mark to beat here. Super modified class. So 2:42.40 for Derek Marty, going to be our new leader this afternoon. 2:42.40. Take over that number one spot here early on. Modified class. So Steve Buddage, Golden Gate, Illinois. Up next, Tate Lincoln. Hot Shot Secret is the number one fastest growing automotive lubricant manufacturer in the U.S. for a reason. Your high quality products that actually do work. They say. See the entire line of products at HotShotSecrets.com. Products also available nationwide at automotive retailers, farm and ag stores, truck stops, and more. Hot Shot Secrets. Weight transfer sheet making its way back to the start line here as we get ready to go with Steve Buddage, number 2 tractor last night in session number 1. Red Bird with the red C28 will follow, and then our big winner, Brandon Simon, with the sign that says modified. So right, 3 in a row there. As we wait for Steve Buddage to fire up, take a look where he's moved that sled over, fans back over here to the left side. Working that middle part there with the turbine entries. And we'll bring out the V8s. Nice 4. Steve Buddage will fire up and takes a look at ride. All right, we hear the cackle of the four-blown and ejected heavy. Steve Buddage's tractor is makes its way to the start line. We've seen the turbines. Now it's time for piston power. Transverse mounted engines. Engine sitting sideways on this tractor right here. And takes a lick in. Steve Buddage, second generation puller, Golden Gate, Illinois. That's down there in the southern part of the land of Lincoln. Now back it in here. Make sure he's lined up nice and square to the front of that sled. 2:42.40. Right now is the mark to beat in the modified class. down, fans. Let's give him a tough luck round of applause. No doubt not the run he was looking for. Started on that left side of the track. Drifted on over here with something not right. Baker. Fans, no doubt about it, we're going to have ourselves a new leader in a big way. Right down the pike, fans, 308.11 new leader. And 3 tractors still left to go here. Brandon Simon up next with the Simon Says Modified. And then we got Randy Margie, second of the Margie tractors to judge next generation. And then Dave Walsh, the 4 aces. Final tractor ended last year. So we saw the number 2 tractor here at the points. Now it's time for Brandon Simon. He's looking for the sweep one last night. Our session 1 show. He's a little too close for comfort down there at the end of the track. Looks like we're good to go. Just scratching up this infield track here, getting some of that water to soak in. Well, looks like Brandon Simon, he's already spotted that cone there, and it looks to be right about the middle part of the track. You see Brother RJ down there. Things going to fire off the Simon Says Modified. Brendan Simon out of Marley, Iowa. Here on the summer so far, 4 victories here on the PPL circuit. Current national points leader. Took the championship 1 year ago. sled. Here we go. Looks to be just a tick over on that right side of center. 3:08.11, the mark he's got to beat. Slack out of the chain. Here we go. Get ready, fans. He's going to take the grip. Not going to do it here this afternoon, fans. Brandon Simon, the Simon says modified. Let's put our hands together for him. Now 3:08. 2 spot here this afternoon. Good run for Randy Margie. As he's quickly off the seat here and checking things out. Yeah, looks like going to take over that number 2 spot, fans. 263 and 30. 263 and 30. The distance here, 263 and 30. Put Randy Margie into that number 2 spot. All right, so the tournament entry, Randy Margie, move on into that number 2 spot here. 263.30. We'll put Brandon Simon back to number 3 when Simon says modified. 260.78. And we've got one left to go here before Aces Tractor. Dave Walsh out of Austin, Wisconsin will take us home. Move into our super style diesel truck class final. Class of the afternoon. Looks like we're going to have 10 of the diesel trucks running here this afternoon. So once again, a good field of trucks. Got one mod left to run. You got the 4 Aces turbine. We saw the T64, those are the GE turbines. We just saw the T55 like foaming turbines. Now it's time for the red windy turbines. This 4 Aces tractor, Dave Walsh. Really unique setup on this machine.
Got Randy Glugel up in the 16,006 mile an hour class on a John Deere 4320.
All right, so we hear the whistle of the turbine. Dave Walsh, a 4 Aces entry. Currently sitting number 5 in the Hot Shot Secret Pro Point League point standings.
Randy distance was 260.14, and he takes that class to 7 official. On the inside track, we've got Andrew Schultz on a Ford 8000. Andrew's distance was 2:22.01.
All right, fans, so officially top 5 in our modified class this afternoon. Finishing on number 5 was Dave Walsh with Old Red. Number 4 spot with Derek Marchi and Terry Next Generation. Number 3 this afternoon, Brandon Simon. Simon says number 2 spot with Randy Marchi and Coach Next Generation. And of course, our winner here this afternoon, Brent Bird, and the race seat Moneymaker. So, Brandon, you can hear us make your way to the announcer stand. We'd like to have Bird with you here as we get ready to go.
So it's another Goshen win for you, and you said this place has been pretty good to you.
It has. Three wins in a row for the ranked seed Moneymaker. Love it.
Well, and the track seemed to be a little bit softer on the starting line today. You had to work for it to get that whole shot.
Yeah, we did. Actually went back to my own driving techniques, changed a few things in the barrel valve this morning. Tractor's been driving horrible all summer, and just kind of hit on a combination that works here for today.
Yeah, and that was quite a shot out there. Nice and straight and fast, too.
Yeah, it was. The left line really good. Picked front end up a little bit. Ran on down there. It was a good run.
So do you think now this is the combination that's going to carry you forward, you're going to stick with?
Absolutely not. We just ordered some new parts this morning.
Always on the move. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Doug, hold him for a second till we clear the distance. Down on the starting line, please have the sled clear the distance.
So over on the Superstock diesel truck side, 7,500 pounds. Maximum weight of these trucks is Cody Lee out of Houston, Texas. Making his way to the start line here, the One Nation Dodge. New truck for Cody, just purchased it just over a month ago. Spotted in competition last night, had a little bit of trouble getting it off the start line here. By the luck of the draw, he'll draw number 1 test puller here in our Superstock class. 60 cubic inches underneath the hood of these trucks. 2 pressure stages, 3 turbos you'll see underneath the hood of these trucks. Now they're making 35 to 4,000 horsepower nowadays with these diesel trucks. Just amazing. Once again, Cody will have the option to take her turn down this run. One Nation Dodge. So out a little bit later on with the Kong machine. Superstock diesel trucks. All that horsepower to the ground. Fans, let's give a nice round of applause. Houston, Texas, and Cody Lee. That will set the mark here in our Superstock diesel truck class.
Scott's distance is 223.44.
All right, fans, so full distance there for Cody Lee out of Houston, Texas, to Foundation Dodge. 3:26 and 74, and he will take that run, 3:26 and 74. And there was a little bit of debate down there whether he was going to take it or turn it down. But I think he got thinking about it. He's like, yeah, the way things have gone this afternoon, I got to take that vote. So 3:26 and 74 will get us started here at Superstock Diesel Trucks. Fans, let's give Cody a nice round of applause. Great run. As last night had the trouble right off the start line, but here got down the track and a real nice pass to get us started on the Superstock Diesel Truck side.
Aaron Schwarzenegger's up next on another John Deere 4440.
So checking our lineup here, Trip Paisley, Fairmont, Indiana, will be up next with Rock Car Ram and Ship. The Antler Edition, and then Cody Lee coming on back with his second truck he calls Kong.
Over at the grandstands, how is the sound? Can you hear us okay? All right, let's see what thumbs up. Thank you.
Now, usually they'll get the thumbs down, they don't want to hear us anymore, right? That's coming later, right?
distance was 2:53.3.
Yeah, fans, I think we're going to have ourselves a new leader. Trip Hazley laying one down. He's in the dry dirt down there. 3:26.74 was our lead distance, and we are going to add to it. Great run for young Trip. fans, new leader. So young Trip running out of that Hazley Machine Camp there in Fairmont, Indiana. Of course, granddad, the godfather down there, Van Hazley. Gonna move it aside and let young Trip get some all-important time behind the wheel.
Well, the killer. That's all it takes. Win the win.
Next up, we got Sean Lingle on John Deere 4430. Jonah Gruber on his John Deere 4320 went 224.07.
All right, fans over on the truck side. Distance for Ben Schiff with the Ambler Addiction. 325 and 62. 325 and 62. Number 2 spot for him. 15 feet or so behind that number 2 spot there. Hunter Paisley, our leader at 340 and 70. As we'll bring in Cody Lee, the second truck here in the column. And then Chase Eller, last night's winner in the Caretaker Dodge. Fans, just a reminder, we've got session number 3 coming up 6 o'clock tonight. Over on the PPL side, we'll have the super modified 2-wheel drive trucks, the super stock, lightweight super stock tractors, the mini rods will be in competition under the lights, as well as the big 10,000-pound pro stocks. That'll be over on the grandstand side. Then over here on the infield track will be the Indiana Pulling League, the 10-mile-an-hour farm stock class, as well as the 8,000-pound street diesel truck class. Trucks must be street worthy and have a valid license and insurance to run here tonight. So that'll all be taking place at 6 o'clock here tonight. The Elkhart County Fair Tractor and Truck Bowl as we got session 3 coming up.
Next up on the stage side, we've got Mark Yoder here from New Paris on his John Deere 4620.
So here we go, the Palm truck and Cody Lee. Cody laid out a nice one for his first truck, 326 and 74. That was the One Nation Dodge. down there this afternoon. Houston, Texas fans, let's give Xander a nice round of applause. Xander Lee.
Our previous puller, Mark Yoder, on the 46.20 lap, 2:43.70. Coming down the track now is Sean Lingle on the 43.20 John Deere. Sean's distance is 165.95.
All right, fans, these young guns getting it done here this afternoon. Distance for Xander Lee in the Kong Dodge 3:34 and 62. So we'll put him in that number 2 spot behind Trip Paisley, the Lockhart Ram. Our current leader at 3:48 and 70. So Chase Seller, last night's winner out of the state of Tennessee, will be up next. Crowder and the Shine Diesel Dodge, and then we'll have our current points leader, Terry Bates, and the Deadpool board. Don't go anywhere, fans. We're going to be down there challenging at 3:48 and 70 here. So tough trucks all the way through this class from top to bottom here this afternoon. They have assembled just a great class here.
Up next on his Ford 8000 is Paul Schutze.
Caretaker Dodge, fans over on the truck side. Chase Seller, Lafayette, Tennessee. Just northeast of the Nashville area. Second win of this pulling season last night here in Goshen. Now, earlier on in the season, picked up a win for Macon, Missouri. Showy showdown down there in Macon. And he was not doing the driving. The truck was not able to make it that weekend. So, now Iron Gun do the driving on white, and he found the winner's circle with Caretaker Dodge. So, currently sitting number 4 here in the national points with Pro Pool League. He's going to go back-to-back here in Goshen. Last night's winner, the Caretaker Dodge, 3:48.70, our mark to beat. Right there for Chase Seller fans. Tough luck, round of applause. Man, he was on a pass, no doubt. When they pop like that, 9 times out of 10, the turbocharger. Heard a little pop earlier in his run there, but yeah, definitely some breakage.
Paul's distance was 200.44 with a speed of 6.8 miles an hour, which is going to give him a big fuse. No?
All right, fans, over on the truck side, 300.91 for Chase Eller. And the caretaker Dodge, 300.91. As the breakage will be rear its ugly head over on the Superstock diesel truck side. So Ken Crowder will be up next. Terry Biggs to follow. And then we'll have Greg Nicky and the Cummins Tiller 3. Next three coming up. And boy, there's some heavy hitters. Halfway through our Superstock diesel truck class, Trip Paisley, the Rock Hard Ram, leads the way at 348.70. Number 2 spot is Andrew Lee with Kong at 334.62. We will put the Cody Lee truck, One Nation, in the number 3 spot at 326.74. So halfway through our field of 10 Superstock diesel trucks.
Ron Crack on his John Deere 5020 will be in next up here on the stage side.
So five-time points champion fans of the Superstock diesel truck class with the Pro Bowling League, Ken Crowder makes his way to the start line here in the Shine Diesel Dodge. Also all-time winner as far as wins goes on the Superstock diesel truck class with 20 victories over the years. As he is going to move that sled up here to the top side, the right side of the pulling track. Go after the Rock Hard Ram this afternoon. And currently sitting number 2 in points, picked up his first win of the season just 1 week ago in Henry, Illinois. All right, fans, here we go. Green flags are out. Shine Diesel Dodge. Into the dry dirt he goes. I still think it'll be a little bit short here. At 348.70. Yeah, we can taste the dry dirt right there. So good run for Ted Crowder in Attica, Indiana. So full distance will be 329 and 38, 329 and 38.
Ron Crack's distance was 237.96.
So now we'll move Ken Crowder into that number 3 spot, 329 and 38 for the Shine Diesel Dodge. It's Terry Biggs. Noblesville, Indiana will be up next with the Deadpool Ford machine. The Chevrolet, the GMC, Craig Nicky. Following the Cummins Tiller 3, Marshall Pro. Then we've got Ted Keith Witt. Our final entries in the class.
15,000 farm stock move towards the starting line. We've got about 3 or 4 more left in the 16,000. We'll move directly to the 15,000. Thank you.
take 6 o'clock tonight. Go out, grab yourself something good to eat, stay hydrated this afternoon. And we'll see you all back for 6 o'clock start time. As we will have session number 3 here at Elkhart County Fair.
On his 4440 went 212.67.
All right, fans, current national points leader on the start line, Superstock Diesel truck side, Terry Biggs and the Deadpool Ford. 3 wins on the summer so far. He'd like to add number 4. What do you say, Ford fans? You Ford fans out there? Oh, he's going to be down there in the dry dirt. No question about it. All 4 tires digging up that dry dirt. 348.70 is what he's got to beat. A rock hard ramp Dodge leading the way. The numbers come in from the laser crew. 3:52.83. We got a new leader. So the Ford blasts into that number 1 spot. We still got a couple left to go. So great run for Terry Biggs, Noblesville, Indiana, with that Ford.
Mark Coughlin on a John Deere 4440 will be up next. Mark's distance is 234.22.
All right, fans, so Greg Dickey making his way to the starting line area. The Cummins Killer 3 comes to us out of River Falls, Wisconsin, way up north, just east of Minneapolis. Did not see the competition last night. Come the second day here to Goshen. Now, you fans that might have been on hand here last year, you saw when the Superstock Diesel trucks ran on Thursday night. This was the big winner right here, Greg Dickey and the Cummins Killer 3. Now, 2024 GMC on the start line. You see it across the top of the windshield. Yes, this has got a Duramax underneath the hood. Totally different sound you'll hear come out of this truck. The GMC got a couple victories on the PBL circuit. His first ever up in Hillsboro, Wisconsin a couple years ago. Followed it up last year with his second win. Let's see if he can do it this afternoon. 3:52.83, the mark to beat. Greg Dickey. Dickey out of Wisconsin, a Cummins Killer 3. Now, fans, one thing I like to point out with that truck each and every time it runs, take a look at that hole shot. When he comes out of there, I mean, he's got all 4 tires just ablazing on that truck. Now, we talk about the other trucks. You see they kind of drive him out, not Craig. He goes hammer down with that Cummins Killer 3. The Duramax, let's see if he got it done. Had to go better than 352.83 to take over that number 1 spot from the Ford. And he will go 350.08, fans, number 2 spot. Let's give a nice round of applause, Craig Dickey. Number 2 for the GMC.
Randy Lingle and his John Deere 4430 is coming down the inside track. Randy's distance was 208.10.
All right, fans, 2 trucks left to go here. Marshall LaRue out of New Franklin, Wisconsin will be up next. The Flammable Chevrolet, and then we'll close it out this afternoon on the diesel truck side with Keith Witt out of Missouri with the American Pride Dodge. So we got a Chevrolet and a Dodge, our 2 final trucks. Jim Marshall, basically a rookie here in the Superstock diesel truck class. Debuted this truck late last year. Limited run time coming into this season. Second generation puller, his dad out there, Ryan, unfortunately not able to run the hot rod semis. He ran the Kenworth truck playing with Fire Kenworth. They had breakage this afternoon, weren't able to make it out. So Ryan, or Marshall, will be the lone shot here for the Brew family. Wisconsin, this is the green area. 2 left to go here. 352.83, number 1 spot, Terry Biggs. With that Ford out front, Craig Dickey sits number 2 at 350.08 with the Cummins Killer 3. That's the GMC. Let's see what young Marshall can do. Flammable. Let's give a nice round of applause. Marshall LaRue, New Franklin, Wisconsin. Look at that right side of the track. Looks like it's going to be a little bit short. I say that. Number 3 spot is 348.70. Number 4 is 334. So definitely to get in that top 5. So 321 and 23. The distance here, 321 and 23.
Ben Sheets on his John Deere 4320 went 194.57.
Comes down to this. Over on the Superstock Diesel truck side is Keith Witt. Will bring the American Pride Dodge up to the start line. Keith currently sitting number 3 in national points here on the Hot Shot Secrets Pro Bowl League. 2017 Ram 2500. Farmer out there in Warrenton, Missouri, just west of the St. Louis area. 4,000 acres he works out there. Now, with that number 3 spot in the points, he's got a couple victories. One in Osceola, Iowa, one in Troy, Missouri a couple weeks ago. So definitely knows how to get the job done. Let's see if he can get that horsepower to the ground.
Last tractor in the 16,006 ton-hour class is Leon Schrock on John Deere 4620. Leon's distance was 216.23.
All right, here we go, fans. Final truck, Superstock Diesel truck side. Keith with the American Pride. Gotta be Ford, gotta be Dodge this afternoon. Here we go. Looks like gonna be the Ford this afternoon. Gonna get it done. Terry Biggs and the Deadpool Ford out of Noblesville, Indiana. Gonna get it done here this afternoon. We'll get our distance in here for Keith Witt in our final top 5 places here for the Superstock Diesel truck class. Great class of competition. One of the best classes of Superstock Diesel trucks we have seen.